Right. You guys ready? Man, I didn't know who she was introducing. I'm like, who's going next? I thought I was going next. Well, I am pumped to be here. I'm excited to talk to you here this afternoon. I want to thank Caroline for the great introduction, a great job here today, just all the speakers, all the talent, everything that we're bringing as a company. I'm really pumped about that. I have a twofold talk. I have a very serious talk, and then I have a very fun talk. So I'm going to kind of blend that together for you today. As many of you know, I had vocal cord surgery, so it's kind of timing out on me a little bit right now. So I'm going to fight through it. I think I got too excited at the NMD reception last night. I was kind of talking at the top of my peak of my voice, and couldn't contain it. But it's just an awesome time getting to see the NMDs, getting together with all of you last night. That was great, seeing that room grow. That room gets bigger every single time. And so when we talk about taking this company to the next level, when we talk about what's coming next, a lot of in our talks with our top earners in the company, our national marketing directors, we meet with them every Monday. We have been talking about the next convention before this convention even started, which is very weird to talk about the next convention when you're only days away from the current convention. And one of the reasons we've been talking about that is because, as you heard from Chris Axe, and you've heard so far from many people that have spoken, you've heard from Jeff Olson, that we are preparing to take the company to a completely different level. When Jeff Olson, the founder of Nerium International, tells you that what we're gonna do at this next convention, when we turn the corner into first quarter next year, what we're gonna do with this company is gonna make what we've done so far look insignificant. That is a very big statement. You all get that, right? That's a very big statement. And so my talk today is how to mentally prepare you for that, how to get you ready for that. Hopefully to inspire you a bit to chase your goals, chase your dreams, be willing to make the sacrifices that are necessary to go after it. This next 6-month run, and I'm going to come up in a couple days towards the end of this event, and we're going to talk about our next run and formalize that run and give you all of the nuggets, tracking sheets and blitz calls and everything that you'll need to really go on that run. But mentally, you have to be super prepared for 6 months to go out there and really go after it. You want to get as big as you can as a brand partner. You want to read as much personal development as you can because you need to become a bigger and better person over the next 6 months. You have to sharpen your axe. You have to hone your skills over the next 6 months because there's no looking back at that next convention. It's blinders on. It is massive global expansion. It is 100% the unveiling of the next level of Nerium International. And that's gonna take a very strong person to go over the next 6 months to really work as probably hard as you've ever worked in your life. That's how I look at it. I'm preparing personally, Tammy's preparing personally to work the next 6 months like I've never worked in this industry. That's literally how I'm treating it because I understand what's coming. Obviously, we have a bit of an advantage knowing what's gonna come, knowing where we're going, knowing the infrastructure. You don't bring the talent that Chris Axe talked about from the companies that he talked about and the amount of money on your payroll that you can imagine that would cost. If anyone knows what 40 programmers cost, some of you are IT people, you just beg to get one programmer at your company, not 40, right? You don't go lay a foundation like that. You don't expand and build a platform like that if you're gonna go grow a small little tiny company. If you're just gonna go double your company, if you're just gonna go triple your company, you wouldn't need to do that. But if you want to go $1 billion, $1.5 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion, you want to break every record in this industry, you have to go lay that path and that foundation, and that's what we're doing. And so let's talk, and I'm just going to ask that you definitely take out your notebook, your journal, take out your pen, buckle in. We're going to go a little bit longer than an hour, so we're just going to be just over an hour. We're going to go straight through, and we're going to talk about you, your goals, your desires, what's going to motivate you. Is it worth it? I'm going to give you some of the journey that Tammy and I went on. I'm going to show you some of the ups. I'm going to show you some of the downs. But it's going to, at the end of the day, this is just simply a talk. It's only a talk to you if you leave here and you don't do anything with it. It'll become something much more than a talk if you write it down and you act upon it and you execute. That's what I want you to do. It's only me just talking to you if you don't do anything about it. And I'm going to prove to you today, I'm going to show you some things I haven't shown you before, and I'm going to prove to you today that Tammy and I have done the things that we talk about on the training calls. You know, on our NMD call recently, I talked about all the journals that we have. And I've got like 11 shelves in my home office that are books and journals of notes that I've taken at trainings over the past 14 years of being in this industry. I'm gonna share some of the thoughts from some of those journals with you. I'm gonna show you and share with you some of the things that I've learned from, from Jeff Olson and some of the other people in this company that I've worked with for many, many years, and prove to you that it's so worth the journey. It's so worth going to every single event. It's so worth being on every single conference call, because that's where the knowledge comes from. That's where the inspiration comes from. That's where the belief building comes from. Other than that, this would be a very hard business. If you're just gonna sign up and think you're gonna go out there and just do it, and you're gonna make all this money, you're gonna change your life, it doesn't work that way. There's a journey. Everyone has a different journey. Some go fast, some go slow. Doesn't really matter. I want you to write this in your notes. I'm gonna ask you to do this a lot today, to write this down. This business is like a marathon. It only matters if you finish, okay? That's it. There's sprinters, there's joggers, there's people that like to walk, there's people that forgot they were in the marathon and they jump back in and start running again. It only matters that you finish. Don't compare yourself to the fastest horses on the track. Don't compare yourself to someone that might hit a higher rank faster than you have. Just compare yourself to you. I've always gone through life like that. I don't compete with anybody. I compete with myself. You can't compete with someone that's not competing with you. That's another thing. Sometimes you might think you're competing against other people. That's not what Nerium is about. It's great to have friendly competition and have a workout partner and those things. I believe in those things. I'm gonna talk about some of those things. But all in all, at the end of the day, you're in this for you, you're in this for your family, your team, your friends, your neighbors, changing lives. And you gotta be willing to go through it. You gotta be willing to forge that steel. You gotta be willing to go through some of the pitfalls. All pitfalls, the pitfalls are different for different people. Everybody's story is different here. And it's interesting when you see someone walk across the stage, everybody that walks across the stage, and we're gonna do some recognition here in just a little bit after my section, and you're gonna see all the amazing people and the amazing lifestyle transformation and the amazing incomes that are gonna be earned and all the titles. And I don't wanna discredit that at all, but guess what? They're just people like you and I. Some of them were up there in the nosebleed. You guys up there in the nosebleed section? How's the balcony section? You guys up there? Right? I remember when I was up in the nosebleed section, my whole goal in this industry was to go from there to right there. That's all I was staring at, all you people in the front row going, I will be there, I will be there, I will be there. And every single person that walked that stage said they're no different than me. And when they shared their story and their background and what they had to go through to get there, I said, they're no different than me. They just have a better seat. And at some point in my career, I will get down on the floor. That was my goal. I had another goal, is to have my own hotel room. So for all of you that are sharing hotel rooms, like it's okay if you share a hotel room with one other person and you got 2 beds, even if you had to kind of split a bed, I mean, that's okay. Split a hotel room with 4 people, maybe someone takes the pull-out couch, not the most comfortable thing, but it's better than being outside, right? You share a hotel room with 10 people, it gets very interesting, okay? Very interesting. Danny Gatsby's laughing. We have the record for the most people in a hotel room at a convention like this. Not at a party, that's how many people had to split the room. Like the room is $200 a night and everybody's chipping in $2. That's how many people are in the room. You get it? Right? I slept in a bathtub one year with you never use that little pullover blanket that's at the bottom of the bed. You guys know that, right? Never use that thing. I mean, that thing's just dirty. We all know that. And I laid that thing in a bathtub. I slept in a bathtub one year, okay? So I definitely have been there. So my goal was get in the front, get out of the nosebleed, and get my own room. I can remember when I had my own room, it just felt so good. I didn't want to leave the room. Like, this is what it's like to have your own hotel room. And you actually get a free cup of coffee, because when you have 25 people in the room, there's only 2 little bags of coffee. That doesn't work out the same, okay? Some of you in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. You've either been there or you're there right now. You're like, oh man, he did it, we can do it, right? Man, we got 30 in our room. So let me take you through the journey a little bit. For Tammy and I, we had no experience when we first joined the industry. It was 14 years ago in 2000 when we joined the industry. And we had no sales experience, no marketing experience, no business experience. We definitely were professionals at being broke, because we were broke. We were 40 grand in credit card debt. There was way too much month at the end of the money. Some of you may know what that's like, where it's halfway through the month, your money's ran out, and there's a lot more bills coming your way. I used to have this saying, it's like I used to have a stack of bills waiting for the money to come in. Now I have a stack of money waiting for the bills to come in, okay? Where's the next one? I wasn't happy about that when I thought about it a long time ago. It was, oh my goodness, I need the next month to come real quick. And at that time, we were a military family. Tammy and I were a Navy family, and we had just got transferred from Hawaii to Bethesda, Maryland. And in Bethesda, Maryland, I was going through a cardiovascular program, and Tammy, we were expecting our first child, and we were really struggling. I mean, way too much at the end of the money. Fridge was empty, many, many days during the month. Just really, really struggling. The whole time we're faking it till you make it, right? That was a saying you learn sometimes in this industry. Fake it till you make it. How about you just make it? Because the faking it part it's not fun, okay? I don't want to stay in the faking it part too long. And so what I'm going to share with you, I'm going to show you, and I think this is on. Is the Elmo on here? Is most of you know Tammy and I for kind of what we've done here at Nerium. You joined 6 months ago. You see us on a couple of videos. You might have heard us on some of the calls. But you don't know where we came from. And so some of you, even though I start off with saying don't compare yourself to anybody but yourself, you're still comparing yourself to the national marketing directors. You're still comparing yourself. Maybe you're a new brand partner in here. You just got started. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 people on your team. You're a senior brand partner. You're already comparing yourself to all the SDs that have their Lexuses. Okay? And you're thinking, man, I don't know if I can do what they just did. They don't have kids and they're not working all the hours I'm working, or maybe they knew a lot of people, or maybe they have a degree in relationship marketing. They have a degree in Nerium. There's no degree in Nerium, but they think people have degrees in Nerium. And so what I wanted to share with you is my W-2. Turn that on here. Yes, I removed my social security number for identity theft purposes. So I made a whopping $19,000 pre-tax. Uncle Sam was so kind to take some of his piece. I was left over with 16 grand, $16,000, right? Not a lot of money. It was me, Tammy, and a newborn. I brought my tissue. Try not to use it. I'm such a baby. I was crying when I wrote these notes. I'm like, oh, can't do it. One of the reasons I don't like giving this talk, I like the end of my talk today, but I don't like the beginning, because it makes you remember the pain of going through it. Some of you are going through it right now. And here's the thing, I can't tell you that you can avoid going through it, but I can show you how to get out of it, okay? If you've made mistakes and you've gotten to where you're at right now and you're going through this, look, I didn't wake up one day and fail. I failed for a long time to cause the ultimate, everything was just breaking loose at the seams in my life. I brought the debt to the marriage. Since my wife is coming up later after me, I won't get away with saying it was her, so I'll just get it out now. I brought the 40 grand credit card debt to the marriage. And this is not marital advice. I didn't tell her before we got married. Because you don't want to blow that deal, right? By the way, we're 40 grand in credit card debt. Whoa, we're 40 grand in credit card debt? Yeah, we're married now. That's how it works, right? It's funny, 2 days ago I asked Tammy, I said, how did we afford to get in the industry? Because I remember how broke we were the day we made the decision we were going to join this industry in 2000, okay? And ironically, on my enrollment application of our last company, the day my daughter was born was the day we joined the industry. And I said, we were so broke, we couldn't even eat. How did we afford it? It was like $250 to get started. And she goes, I wrote a check out of my bank account. This is 2 days ago. I go, your bank account? What's with your bank account? I thought we were married. I didn't know about that bank account till 2 days ago, right? So guys, do some checking. She goes, that's money I earned at part-time jobs, right? I'm like, okay. It got us in the industry. Can't complain about that one, right? But we just went through that journey. 16 grand after taxes. I mean, we had some housing allowance from the military. We had a food allowance from the military. So all in all, we were making a little bit more money than that, but it wasn't much more. And so we had every excuse to fail. No money, no time. It wasn't like we weren't making money because we weren't working. I had a 100-hour work week, solid, 7 days a week. I had a full-time Navy career, full-time cardiovascular tech school. We had a newborn. I'd go to work. It was dark. I'd come home. It was dark. When I wasn't working, I was dark and I was sleeping. And that's just what our life looked like. And so we went through the motions. And so for those of you that are going through that right now, the decision is in your hands today. This is kind of tough love. You have to be willing today, tomorrow, and the next day to decide. You have to be willing to write down these notes. You have to be willing to execute on this plan. You have to be willing to go through it. You have to be willing to make that change. Nothing will change in your life until you decide in your mind that you want change. There's no magic bullet. I can't come out here and give you the magic pixie dust. Okay, you're all gold international marketing directors. Wouldn't that be awesome if we had that special sauce, right? We don't have that. We just have regular sauce. This is what you do. 2 a day. Listen to a training call. Come to all the events. Take good notes. Expose people. Use the third-party tools. Use the product prospecting system. Show up. Showing up is half the battle. Let me give you an example of showing up. Some of you, on our national marketing director call, I talked about I'd bring some of my journals. I have so many journals that I couldn't bring them all here today, but I brought a bunch. I only brought a few out on stage. I have another bag in back, and I sorted through which ones I thought were the most impactful. So this journal right here, this is 2001, okay? I read through this journal the other day. I'm like, whoa, I forgot that. Whoa, I forgot that. Whoa, that guy Olson's pretty sharp. That is a good point, okay? I called Jeff Olson. I actually emailed him at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, I am rereading my journals right now. I'm like, you're good, man. He's probably like, duh, right? I'm like, and I was just telling him backstage, I'm like, this is a blast from the past. It's all about showing up and getting trained and executing on that training, be willing to do it. One of the lessons in here is never, ever, ever miss an event, ever. Never miss an event, ever. For no reason, okay? Ever. I know there's some people watching us on stream at home and for whatever reason they couldn't make it here. Okay, watch it on the stream event. Take 3 days, shut everything down, whatever you have to do, and watch the live event. But there's nothing that beats being here in person. You can't replicate in your living room what we have here right here. The energy that's in here, the camaraderie that's in here. This is just the first day. You can't replicate that outside of these walls, right? Like Jeff Olson says, you go to a place here that you can't get to on your own. And so, one event changed my life. One event. You know what people ask me? What's the most important event that I should go to? You guys want to know the answer to that? The one you miss. That's the one. The most important event that you should go to is the one you miss. There was an event in Tyson's Corner, Virginia in 2001, okay, with Jeff Olson, some of our other top performers in the company. I was still in the Navy. The event was $40. I'm sure I probably owe you another $40, Danny. I didn't have $40. I have no idea how I get in. I got really good at showing up early, like 7 hours early. Like, hey, the Navy guy's out front again. The hotel's calling the orchestrator of the event. The Navy guy's out front again. It's like, it's 2:30 in the morning. The event doesn't start till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, what do you want us to do with them? Well, just let him in. That was me, because I didn't have the money to get in the event. Borrowed money. You know how I learned to run events? Because I showed up so early that I got there all the time before the people who actually ran the event, that they say, hey, can you help us lug the equipment? Oh, sure. Start lugging the equipment. Like, hey, now I'm in the event. There's a little Navy trick for you, okay? Hey, can you help us lug all the tools? Sure. Hey, can you help us set up the tool table? Sure. I mastered setting up the tool table, setting up the AV equipment. One job I got fired from is I have bad penmanship. You'll see that in my notes here in a minute. And so they gave me the job at filling out the name tags. I only lasted like 10 tags. They're like, hey, Smith, gone. Here, get in the event. You earned your keep today. Just get in the event. That was my situation. But I didn't let it scare me away from going to an event. On a Sunday, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 1 in the morning, Jeff Olson decided he was gonna do these power trainings. I thought he was crazy. I mean, 12 hours of anything is crazy. I'm thinking 12 hours power training, okay, I better feel real powerful when I come out of there because that's crazy and I don't have the $40. So I go to this event. And as you'll see, now, it wasn't my first event. I joined in 2000. This is July of 2001. I've been to a lot of events. In July of 2001, great notes, in the moment, Jeff Olson goes up, decide to go to Navy Legal and ask them my rights. What was that for? I was done. I have no idea what he said. I just know that I sat in that room, and within the moments I started taking notes, I said, I am done. I'm out. I'm leaving the Navy. That's a 10-year career. I'm like, I am done. I'm in cardiovascular school. I mean, I only have a couple months left to graduate. I'm like, I am done. I'm going to the attorneys. How do I get out of here? My contract was ending. I didn't owe any more time. I was in a unique situation. That Monday morning, I went to Navy Legal. I walked in. I said, hey, I've decided that I'm not going to stay in. They go, that's funny. You decided you're not going to stay in. Great. Get back to work. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm gonna go build this business with this guy, Jeff Olson. I mean, you have not heard of Jeff Olson? Have you not read The Slight Edge? Have you not heard about the power training? You don't understand 2 a day? Come on, get with it, man. By the way, do you have 15 minutes? Something I'd like to show you? I pitched everybody on the way out. I'm like, man, I got to make some money. I'm about to lose my 16 grand a year income, right? That's not a lot to walk away from. When it's your only money, it kind of is. When you look at it, you're like, yeah, I could probably really just skate along. I can be just rubbing shoulders with Jeff Olson and make 16 grand a year. That was my thought process, okay? I'm sharing this with you not for my own benefit because I've already been through this. Some of the stuff I don't really like to share. Some of it's emotional. Why am I sharing this with you? What if I didn't go? What if I didn't show up that day? What if I said, I don't have the $40, so I'm not going? What if I said I'm exhausted because I work 100 hours a week in the Navy? It's Sunday. It's the only day I'm not working right now. And I'm going to go to some training from 1 in the afternoon to 1 in the morning to wake up the next day at 4 a.m. to go do my physical fitness with the Navy and go to cardiovascular school all day? What if I didn't go? Think about it, guys. What if I didn't go? What's the alternative? What would it have looked like? What's the flip side of the coin? You wouldn't know me. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't have been here. How would I be here if I didn't go to this event? You guys realize that, right? I wouldn't be here if I didn't go to this event. One event will change your life, okay? Tammy and I did everything you could do wrong in this industry, okay? If there's ever gonna be a book written on how to mess this up, jack it up, slice it in half, and blow it up, I'm gonna write it because we jacked it up. Let me give you some of the things that we did. First of all, everything that Jeff Olson said to do, I did the opposite. I mean, what does he know? The millionaire maker. I mean, I'll show him. I'm 16 grand a year guy. I'm gonna show Wholesome what's up. That's what my attitude was. I'm this Navy guy, I'm supposed to be tough. I'm not gonna follow some guy that telling me to do 2 a day. 2 a day, I'm gonna do 100 a day. That was my attitude. I know, where's Aaron Whittier? He's around here, probably remember. He said, I was the punk Navy guy that showed up in his Navy jogging suit. I had 2 sets of clothes. I had my Navy, actually I have 3. I had my Navy uniform. I had my, what they called the Smurf suit. It was, you remember the Smurfs, right? It was just an all blue Navy jogging suit. And I had my hospital scrubs. That was it. That was my uniform. I didn't really have a lot of civilian clothes. I remember marching into that meeting in Rockville, Maryland, like, oh, I'm here. Like, great. You need to pay to get in. Can you get back out and get in line? So anything he said, I really did the opposite. It wasn't that I didn't believe in Jeff Olson, I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in the system. I didn't believe what they were saying was really the way to the top, because I believed I was better. I believed that I could do it faster. I believed I could create my own system. And I thought they were wasting their time with all this hocus pocus, dream goal setting and writing it down and dream board. That's the cheesiest thing I ever heard of. Yeah, I was the brokest guy in the room thinking that. Think about that for a second. I was probably one of the brokest people in the entire company at that point, thinking, I have a better way. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. So, since systems were so important, and Jeff Olson trained about systems, I said, I'm gonna show him, I'm gonna create my own system. And so I figured, I drove around Washington, D.C., and I see all these signs on telephone poles. It says like, get rich, do nothing, don't even need to wake up anymore, money just pours into your bank account. You've seen those signs, right? You guys know that that's all a lie, right? Some of you will find out later that those things don't work. And so I figured, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna plaster Washington, D.C. and Maryland with signs. I was the sign guy. But I wasn't just a sign guy, like I'm gonna go hang a sign. I'm gonna create a system, and I'm gonna develop a whole system of how to hang signs, right? So at first, I'm out there with my little cardboard signs, you know, call me, success coach, mentor, I will mentor you. I can't even, I wish I had one of the signs to show you. You'd all just laugh. I'd hold one sign up and everybody would leave because they would know they could make it here. You go, that guy did that? That's how bad it was. And so I started hanging signs, but here's what happens. It was the winter, and so it snows and rains in Maryland, and so I would be driving, I'm still in the Navy, I'm driving to work, and my signs would be like half hanging off the telephone pole because the weather got to it, right? It really upset me. I mean, cardboard costs a lot of money when you make 16 grand a year, let me tell you right now, okay? So I go to my good friend Danny Gassamy, who's living in my basement, by the way, so don't act like a tough guy right now. Unfinished basement with no heat, that's a whole nother story. And he's a construction worker. I'm like, listen, man, I got a real issue going on right now. I need to recruit you. I need you to help me with something. My signs keep falling down. And he's just looking at me laughing, you know, like, oh, you're gonna try the sign thing. Those don't work. I'm like, I remember him telling me a story how his mom joined a network marketing company and she used to hang signs. He's like, yeah, they don't work. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm gonna develop a system. Okay, I'm following this guy Olson, and I'm gonna develop a system. You've never seen a system like this before. Okay? So he goes, okay, so what are you using? I said, cardboard. He goes, you got to use corrugated plastic. I'm like, okay, got it. So I go to this sign place, and I now ask for these beautiful, you know, 5 foot by 4 foot square kind of corrugated plastic signs. They just pop. The letters are like this big. I'm like, game on, right? Now the problem is the city keeps driving by my signs, and they're pulling them down. I mean, can you imagine doing that to a guy? And so I'd go down a road and I'd see no signs. I'm like, I know I plastered every single telephone pole on this road. They're all gone. So I recruit my friend Danny Gassamy again. I'm like, look, man, I got a problem with my sign system. He's laughing at me. He's like, what's the problem now? I'm like, look, they're ripping them down. And he goes, oh, you need roofing nails. I'm like, well, what are roofing nails? He goes, they're about this long and they got a plastic cap on the end. There's no way they're getting them out. And you're gonna have to get a bigger hammer because you're gonna have to really drive these huge nails into these telephone poles. Right? So what do you think I did? I went and got me some roofing nails. I recruited probably 10 or 20 guys and gals to do this with me. We would go out at 2:30 in the morning, and my friend Mike Ferrera's Bronco, we had a system. We even had nicknames. We were so cool, okay? We each had a 5-gallon bucket, because Danny also taught me to flip the bucket over and stand up on the bucket to get a little bit higher because the city workers are not gonna go get their ladder to go take the sign down. So we just get it a couple feet higher. I had a tool belt. You know, Jeff Olson said you gotta use tools. I went and got a big giant tool belt. And it was stacked with roofing nails. And I had like the biggest hammer you could find. And we had a system. We would pull up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, I'm still in the Navy. I'm still pulling a shift. You did not want me working on you in the cardiovascular cath lab that next morning. I had pine tar from the telephone poles that I was climbing, splinters everywhere. I hadn't slept. This is what I did. And you know, it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in Washington, D.C. Not a good place to be at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so you jump out of the Bronco with your 5 or 6 buddies. Everyone's got their bucket. You got your tool belt. You get your hammer. And you run and you're banging signs on telephone poles. And all of a sudden, your scout says duck. So you duck. Why would you have to duck? Because there's a cop coming. Because hanging street signs is illegal. Okay? Do you think the signs worked? They did. I got tons of phone calls. Tons. Write this down in your notes. Do what duplicates, not what works. It worked, but who in their right mind would want to join me on the sign team to go with the sign crew at 3 a.m. in Washington, D.C. and pound signs? Who would want to do that? So what happened was it worked, so it tricked me. This is why when we teach the system, the rest of these this is the setup talk for the next 3 days. When we talk about 2 a day, we talk about showing up, we talk about using third-party tools, at first you might not think, well, it seems like it's just too slow of a process. Everything you do must duplicate. Doesn't matter if lots of things will work, but if you're 100% of your team can't do it 100% of the time, don't do it, don't teach it. And so I remember I got my phone call from Angeline Johnson. She was a school bus driver in Washington, D.C. And she called me up and, I saw your sign. I'm like, yes, got another one. So I go and sign her up. And I do her getting started training, right? Her new brand partner training. It was the new how to hang a sign training, right? Because that's my system. And so I tell her, you need about $300. I got a good deal. We're going to go get you 500 corrugated plastic signs. Going to get you a tool belt. Going to get you some roofing nails. Going to get you a big giant hammer. This is not a fake story, by the way, so you're laughing directly at me right now. But that's okay. It's what I'm here for, okay? And so I start banging signs, and Angeline Johnson's on the sign crew, okay? She's got her nickname. We all got our nicknames. And one day, her husband calls me. Big, giant construction worker, Ron. And he says, hey, what the heck are you doing with my wife at 2 a.m. having her in Washington, D.C., climbing telephone poles, hanging signs? Are you kidding me? I'm like, what? It works. I had a dentist call me on the sign. Hey, look, you know what? I'm a dentist. I drive by your sign every day. I'd love to sit down with you. What are you up to? I recruit him. A dentist. I'm like, yes, I'm a millionaire. I recruited a dentist. I'm like, Tammy, go buy your shoes. Go buy your purse. We pay the rent first. But we're going to do it. We're going to do this thing. And so what do you think I do with the dentist? He looks at me like I'm insane. He's like, what? Your pitch was great, but you want me to do what? Everything you can imagine we did wrong. Jeff Olson said, hey, don't use flyers. You know, don't go ever put flyers on cars. That doesn't work. So naturally I said, Tammy, what we need to do is go get some flyers. And we need to go put them on a whole bunch of cars. I mean, I think they were just testing me. I think it's like reverse psychology. Tell him not to do it so he'll go do it 10 times bigger, right? And so we took our last few $100s and we got the most fluorescent pink paper you could find. It was like glow in the dark, like nuclear. It was so bright. And I put some cheesy, horrible message on there like, call me, you'll be guaranteed success, overnight success, something just dumb, right? And we go to the White Flint Mall in Rockville, Maryland. And this is before my daughter's born. So Tammy's pregnant. And she's like real pregnant, like Olive on a toothpick pregnant. You know what I'm talking about? And she's like ready to give birth in the parking lot. And I'm like, come on, babe, just another 100 cars. I mean, I know it's cold, but here, take my jacket. And we're putting flyers on windshields at the White Flint Mall. I remember I got an 800 number. I felt like a hero when I got an 800 number. I'm like, I have a 1-800 number. And I put that on my flyer. And Tammy and I ran home, and we sat by the phone. I look back at this, I laugh at myself. This is the most idiotic thing I've probably ever done in my life. We literally sat by the phone, waiting for it to ring. After I got yelled at all day by my pregnant wife in the winter in Rockville, Maryland, putting flyers on a car. And the phone rang. I'm like, this is it. I pick up the phone. I'm like, offices of Mark Smith, how may I help you? Yeah, this is mall security. We need you to come down to the mall because you have a bunch of your pretty pink flyers all over our parking lot, and we're gonna charge you a fine for every flyer that's there. To the mall, picking up flyers. The street signs, I hung so many, I built such a big team of street sign hangers that I got a call from the city manager of Laurel, Maryland, and he sounded super sharp on the phone. I'm like, this is my next superstar. He goes, here's the deal, buddy. You need to come get every single sign down from every single pole in our city, or we're gonna fine you $500 a sign. I actually saw these fluorescent orange warning sticker, bumper sticker things that they would put over the phone number on my sign. I mean, that's not fair. That's my phone number. That's how they call me, right? And for a minute, I thought, you're gonna fine me $500 a sign? How? You don't even know me. That was the Boston in me. I'm like, my wife goes, hey, dum-dum, your number's on the sign. These are real conversations in the Smith household. So we didn't get ahead by cheating the system. We didn't get ahead by reinventing the wheel. We failed miserably. We didn't get ahead by creating the new system. We didn't get ahead by not listening to Jeff Olson. We didn't get ahead by just not going to the events. Going to one event, like taking one shower, that doesn't work. We got ahead by doing it over and over and over and over. We messed this thing up so bad. I mean, I could tell you stories for weeks of all the things that we did that didn't work. I'm giving you a taste of it because I want to share with you today what did work. I want to show you how to go from where you're at right now to where you want to be. Everybody has different dreams or goals. Someone in here might be going through that $16,000 a year W-2. Some of you going through it. Others in here have $100,000 a year W-2 and they hate their job. They're not happy with their life because they're making $100,000 a year, great, and they come home and one day their kids are in college and they don't remember grade school, but they're making $100,000 a year. So it's not just, oh, this is for broke people. This is for everybody. How do you fit it into your life? What are you looking for? Is it money? Is it time? Is it money and time? Is it the associations? Is it the give back? Is it being part of something bigger than yourself? What is it for you? Because everybody's looking for something different, but there's one thing I know, it all exists in this company. If we haven't proven that to you, we should end the event right now because it only takes about an hour for the average brand partner that's never been to an event like this to sit in this room and go, this is amazing. Is this amazing to you? It's an unbelievable opportunity. It's not just an opportunity about finance, it's an opportunity in life. It's an opportunity to grow as a person. When Jeff founded this company, on the 3 words that you've heard, make people better, he didn't found it on make more money. He didn't need the money. His friends probably still think he's crazy. He doesn't need the money. Why go work so hard? Why give up? You don't think he's given up part of his life to be able to build this great company? Of course he has. Think about that for a second. The journey is totally different. Make people better. There's 3 things that Tammy and I have used to go out there and get out of the rut. Not paying our bills, struggling, dealing with the credit card debt, dealing with flat out depression. I can remember how depressed I was, trying to pick myself up in the morning to go to work. I remember when I went full time in this industry, my first month full time, I made $380 something. I made less full time than I was making part time. There's a tip in there. Don't go full time until you can afford to go full time. Don't go full time until you're willing to do the work that's required to be full time. Live on your Nerium income for 3 to 6 months before you go full time. See if you can do it. We made the mistake of going full time too fast. Okay, and this is obviously in a prior life. There's one thing I can guarantee, one thing I 100% can guarantee, is the darkest hour comes right before the knock, just like this. It's the wake-up knock. Your darkest moment is so close to the light, it's as simple as going over to a light switch. Think about this. When you turn the light switch off at night, the light is not that far away. When you click that switch and that light comes on, that's how fast you can change your life. Now, it doesn't mean that you go over and flip on the light switch and go, okay, I'm ready. Where is it? Where's all the blessings? It doesn't work like that. But it starts with that. It's the beginning of it. These 3 things changed Tammy and I's lives. First is you must have a rock solid, crystal clear, unyielding, definite chief aim. You have to have something you want so bad that you can't sleep at night. If you get a Mickey Mouse Y right now, you're gonna build a Mickey Mouse business. If you have a huge why that when you think about it, it brings tears to your eyes, that no is like a mosquito bite. Oh, did someone just tell me no? If you have a small little itsy bitsy teeny weeny why, and someone goes, oh, you in Nerium? Is it one of those things? You get rich yet? That will devastate you. That will crush you. For most people, that'll get you to quit. One person could get you to quit. You have to have your bulletproof vest. This isn't just about Nerium. This is about life. This happened every single area of my life. When I was growing up in East Boston and I decided I was going to go to college, most of my friends didn't go to college. You know what I got? I got attacked. You're going to college? That's a joke. We're all going to work. I'm a plumber. I'm an electrician. We're going to make money. You're going to go. You didn't even get good grades in high school. How are you going to make it through college? So I finally go to college. I didn't do well at college. You have to study to stay in college, and I didn't figure that part out soon enough. So when I dropped out of college, the same friends said, oh my goodness, you're going to drop out of college? That was the smartest thing you ever did in your life. We were so proud. You're the only one that went to college. None of us went to college. Same friends. I became a roofer. Now I'm on the roof. And as a roofer, which is probably one of the single toughest jobs you'll ever have in your life, especially in New England, okay? It's super hot in the summer and super cold in the winter. So as a roofer, I didn't do so well. I was making decent money, but just probably not where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. I was a young guy already feeling the pain of being a roofer. My dad one day said, Mark, I'm going to give you a choice. My dad's like 6'6", 280, military guy, worked in a shipyard his whole life. He's like, here's your choice. You can join the Navy or you can join the Navy. What is it going to be? I'm like, I've always wanted to join the Navy. That is such a great idea, Dad. I'm going to join the Navy. Same friends. You're going to join the Navy? What an idiot. You're going to look at your hair. I had long hair down to here. Like, you got long hair. You can't be in the military. Come on, you barely made it through high school. You fell out of college. You couldn't even be a roofer, man. You're going to be a Navy guy? Come on, that's crazy. Same friends. Got in the Navy. Loved the Navy. Best decision I ever made in my life. Decided I was going to leave the Navy. July 15th, 2001. Same friends. You're going to leave the Navy? That was the smartest decision you ever made in your life. We're so proud of you. We knew you would go to the top in the military. You're going to be something big someday in the military. Look at us. Look at my hands. I'm a roofer. Look at my knuckles. Look at the injuries I have. Look at this. Look at that. Same friends. I joined relationship marketing. Tammy and I have success, not quick success. Took a lot of years to make it happen. Same friends. I decided to move on. Decided to come to Nerium. Not one bottle was sold. Not one person was recruited. The website was just getting turned on. For the few of you here that I see in the front room, you think there was, everyone looks at it now, they go, wow, that was you did it. Great decision. All you people that just ran with Nerium in the beginning. Man, this is guaranteed success. I mean, wish I was there. Really? No, you don't. We were clueless. We didn't know what we were doing. I remember opening my launch kit, calling Jeff Olson, going, there's a whole bunch of product in here. He's like, yeah, so that's the night cream. I'm like, oh, what do I do with it? He's like, I don't know, get it out there. We're all trying to figure out what to do with it. We just got it out there. Same friends when I went to join Nerium said, you are going to throw your life away. You made money, you're successful, you're a stay-at-home dad, and you're going to do Nerium, Werium, what is it? I hadn't even heard of it. Isn't that a poisonous plant? No, you're poisonous. Poisoning my soul. Your definite chief aim, you have to tell your mind what you want. And then you have to go draw a picture of it so you can figure out how to get it. Your definite chief aim, it's the key in any area of your life. I'm not just talking here in Nerium. Your purpose. What is your purpose? I want to make money. That's not a purpose. I want a new house. Okay, I'll take that. You want a new house, you live in a bad neighborhood, you're renting, you want to get in a good neighborhood, safer place for your kids. You want to get out of that bad neighborhood. I'll take that. But that's just a stepping stone on the way to the big one. The big definite chief aim. Like you could look at the company. What's our definite chief aim as a company? You could say, oh, to be a rock star company, break every single record. No, You could look through this company and turn to the pages and volumes of this company and go, well, one of our goals is to raise $1 million for Big Brothers and Sisters. You don't think that's a definite chief aim? Jeff Olt's like, yeah, we're going to do it at this event. I'm like, man, you think we can do it? He's like, we're going to do it at this event. I'm like, woo. 2 seconds later, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it at this event. We're going to do it at this event. We're all back there right now. Where are we at now? Because we're going to make it happen. It's a definite chief aim of the company. We're going to raise $1 million for Big Brothers and Sisters. Nothing's going to stop us. We're doing it this weekend. We're $250,000 shy. We're $250,000 shy. We'll get it done. Definite chief aim. We're going to break every record in relationship marketing. We're going to do the biggest things ever in the first full year that any company's ever done. Are you sure, Jeff? I'm sure. You want to come for the ride? Yep. Already said no too many times. I'm not missing this one. Definite chief aim. What's your definite chief aim? I guarantee you that 9 out of 10 of you, if I sat down with you one-on-one, mano-y-mano, said, what is your definite chief aim? You wouldn't know. You don't have it written down. It's not even in your head. You're not so sure. You have a whole bunch of things going on. I want to make money. I want to get out of debt. I'd like to go out to eat a little bit more. Man, I've always wanted to go to the Bahamas. It's just scattered. It's there. How do you achieve it if it's just all scattered? It's got to be contained. It's got to be written down. You have to have a rock solid, definite chief aim. It needs to be so big that people laugh at you. That's how big it has to be. You tell them and they go, that's good. Oh my goodness, you're funny. No, I'm serious. That's how big it has to be. What I want to do right now, I want to play a quick video clip because let me explain this video clip. When you join a business like Nerium or you're an entrepreneur and you have this crazy idea that you're going to create success for you and your family, you're going to go out there and you're going to do something big. You're going to break the mold. You're going to run from the masses. You're going to do something different. You're going to do probably something different that your parents told you to do. You're going to do something different than your friends are doing. You're going to do something different than your family's doing. Everybody in society is telling you what to do, and you're going to go do something different. What happens is we get stuck in the mud. We get stuck in the giant fence that society builds around us. And when you go to climb that fence, guess what society does? They build the fence bigger. That's what they do. I'm not against people that don't want to go where I want to go, but don't build a fence around me and try to hold me back because I'm going to climb it twice as fast. That's my attitude. And so we get stuck in the monotony of the system. Go to work, get paid, go to work, get paid, don't go to work, don't get paid, take a vacation. You know, get hungry at noon. You guys know what they call it, a lunch break at corporate America? You're hungry, go eat. 30 minutes. Coffee break, 10 minutes. You got 11 days sick time. How the heck have they figured out that you're going to be only sick 11 days next year? Think about the system, right? But we're willing to do that our whole entire life. But God forbid we try to be an entrepreneur and go do something different. Those crabs in the barrel will come after you like you've never seen it in your life, and they will latch onto you, and they will hold you back. We're going to work anyways for the rest of our lives. If you look at anyone that just gives up and stops chasing their dreams and stops working and I'm just going to be a couch, but what happens to a couch potato? They turn into a potato. You're either growing or you're dying. You're going to do it anyways. Why not do it here? Why not do it big? Why not go after the things that you want? Why do what the system says that we should do? Passing notes to our kids. Think about that for a second. These are the things that were said to me that drove me crazy. The one-liners I wrote down in my journals that drove me crazy. I'm like, you don't know me good enough. You shouldn't have said that. See, it's great because we're in a large group, so you don't know if I'm talking about you. You should talk about everybody. All right, let me say this. If I say something that offends you, it was meant for you. Okay? We're friends, right? Family, Nerium. I always wondered why we went through so many struggles so I could get up here and give you this talk. See, if I never went through this and Tammy never went through this and the NMDs that you're going to hear from and see get recognized and you hear on the calls and Nerium universities, if it was all roses and ice cream and white picket fences, I don't know how to help you through your struggle because I just signed up and I signed up, 4 days later I went national marketing director, and 2 months later I went gold national marketing director, and no one ever told me no. So I don't really know how to help you. That's not what the story is for leaders. And some of them might have had a fast run here at Nerium, but they cut their teeth somewhere else. My book's from 2001. Nerium wasn't a thought yet. So I cut my teeth somewhere else. I went through that journey. The second thing is initiative. Napoleon Hill said, the world bestows its biggest prizes for one thing and one thing only, and that's initiative. It's called work. You gotta work. It's network marketing, not net, sit on the couch, do nothing, send in a check marketing. It's network marketing. It requires work, it requires discipline. But that video shows that that's what most of us are doing. We're working for someone else's dream. We're building somebody else's company. This is our company. Every single one of us in here have the same opportunity on the same brand partner application to go out there and do something big here. I truly believe with every fiber of my being that the fastest horses are not even on the track yet in this company. There's gonna be people that join this company, they're gonna have a story that's gonna blow your mind, they're gonna go to the top of this thing. It's coming. I think that's what Jeff Olson is preparing everybody for, is you gotta go on the run right now and get on top of this thing. Because it's gonna run so fast coming out of here, and when we launch in that next convention and what we do over the next 6 months to prep for that is gonna define the new top earners in this company. The new top earners in this company. The people that are up there, the people that are up there, and the people that are up there that are gonna get down here, and they're gonna be the very top earners in this company. It's going to happen. Jeff Olson and I recently talked about this backstage, and he goes, you're right, it is gonna happen. You can't stop it. It's the cycle of this industry, and it's what makes this industry amazing. It's not who got here first, it's who's willing to take the initiative, who's willing to have a definite chief aim that's super strong, who's willing to go to work. The third thing, probably one of the most important things you can do in any level of success in any area of your life is faith. It's being sure of what you hope for and certain about what you don't see. It's kind of like an iceberg. I'm a big National Geographic buff. If you look at an iceberg, I recently went on a cruise. I guess it seems recent, it was 2 years ago. Went on a cruise to Alaska, a Disney cruise with my kids, and we see all these just amazing glaciers and icebergs and all these things. If you take an iceberg and you look at the tip of it, only 10% of the mass of an iceberg breaks the surface of the water. 10%. 90% of the mass of an iceberg is below the surface. In this business, you have to learn to believe and have ultimate faith on what's below the surface, because you can't see it. And everyone around you can only see the tip of the iceberg. They can only see the 10%. They're only gonna remind you about the 10%. When you're talking about the 90%, you're talking about big things, you're talking about changing your life, you're talking about putting your kids in better schools, you're talking about retiring your parents, you're talking about giving back to your community, they keep pointing at the 10%. They can't see below the surface because they don't have a definite chief aim. They're not willing to do the work, the initiative, and they don't have the faith that you have in what you're doing. It is the single hardest thing that you will go through, and it's don't hate them for it. This might be your best friend. This might be your sister. This might be one of your parents. This might be one of your kids. You don't get rid of a kid because they're not a Neriumite. Oh, you're not my kid anymore. No, that's foolish. But you can't let someone get into your head that only sees the 10%, because they're only gonna get 10% out of life. That's what they're getting. I've never, even at the darkest moments, even when I was broke growing up, I never looked at someone that was successful or doing well financially. I never looked at them, and I was never a hater. I would never look at them like, oh man, they got all this stuff. I was like, man, if they can do it, I can do it. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, and for years and years and years, I talked myself into it. But I didn't hate people that went out there and did it. I wanted to get around them more to figure out how they did it. Will you teach me? And know what I found out? Probably what you found out. Most people in life won't teach you. Your boss isn't gonna teach you. Hey, teach me how to become as good as you at your job. Why? So you can take my job? Think about that system. Your work only wants you to be good. They want to pay you enough so you don't quit, and your boss wants you to be good enough to do your job but not take theirs. That's the system. I want to live every single moment I can get out of life, and I don't want to stop for a second. When I take a vacation, I last about 24 hours and I go insane. It drives Tammy crazy. I'm like, okay, she's like, it's only been a day. Just relax. I'm like, but there's gotta be something we can do right now. Like, let's set goals or something. Let's do something for our future. That's the type of person I am. And I think you should be that type of person too. I'm not saying don't take a vacation, but go for it. Go for every single thing you want. Give it your all the time. Because there's one thing I know for sure. Most people fear success. And most people have some fears in their life. The fear of the debtor. The fear they can make it. The fear of losing their job. The fear of an illness. All this fear. There's one thing I know for sure. That faith and fear can't coexist. So I choose faith. I choose to believe it. I choose to believe that the possibilities are possible for me. And I refuse to believe otherwise. I've had people tell me my whole life that dumb idea. No way you're going to do it. Don't have a college degree. Barely made it out of high school. No one ever makes money in those things. Work from home. Are you crazy? That means that you're jobless. I've heard it all. And I look back every once in a while in the rearview mirror, because I ripped that rearview mirror off a long time ago, but I used to glance at it. Where are those people? They're still friends. Some of them are family members. I treat them as such. But they're in the same spot that they were in when they told me not to go for it. Right now, you have people in your life that are telling you not to go for it. You have a room of 15,000 plus people right now that are telling you and giving you permission. They signed a permission slip. When you enrolled in the convention and you showed up, you gave us a permission slip to give you the permission to go for it. How many people believe that you can go for it? You have to go for it. You have to be willing to do it. Definite chief fame, rock solid. No one can tell you you can't do it. It's got to be strong. It's got to make you cry. It's got to shake people when you tell them. Initiative, you got to be willing to go, wake up and do it again. You're going to work anyways. Why not work for you? And the faith, the belief that you can do it. There's 6 quick steps in goal setting. 6 quick steps. 1 is define your goal. What is that goal? One of the most powerful things you can do is define the goal. I remember listening to Jeff Olson saying, if it's not written down, it's not written down. Something you think about is a wish. Something you write down is a goal. Let's separate that today. Oh, I was thinking about this, or yeah, I want to do, where is it written down? Is it in a journal? Have you made the steps? Because anything that's not written down is simply a wish. There's 99.99% chance it's not coming true, because it's just here. You haven't involved all the senses yet. So write it down, get a journal. They have all these different journals. Journals everywhere. I got this journal right here. This is something I did for the Turks and Caicos. I wanted a trip there. I didn't have the money to go to Turks and Caicos. I won a trip. So on a free trip, I decided I wanted to have a piece of property in the Turks and Caicos. I made a whole entire book about it. On the binder, it says, I will until. That's the binder. I will until. What does that mean? I will until I get it. Not I'm going to try it. Not I'm going to toss it around. Not I'm going to think about it. I will until, I will until, I will until. I found out that this whole definite chief fame initiative and faith is so powerful. And be careful, because if you engage on this journey and you really, really believe it like I believe it, and you write it down and you involve your family and you put these goals and you put the pen to paper and you stick to it, you will achieve every single thing that you put in your way. Everything. It'll come true. This isn't a sales pitch. It will happen. I scare myself sometimes with crazy things I think up, write down. I know Dale Munger's laughing because he always goes, I remember you talking about that 7 years ago. I'm like, I haven't stopped talking about it. I need to talk about it. I talk about things to you all so you remind me. Did you do it yet? Oh, dang it. Did you do it yet? You tell 15,000+ people you're going to do X, 15,000+ people will remind you. That's how you achieve goals, believe me. Write it down. It's got to have a time frame. How many people have set a goal that's never happened because you just keep setting it and setting it and setting it and setting it? I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to do it this year. No, when? What date? By what date? What month? What day? What hour? You have to have a time frame. Hold yourself accountable. Use visual aids. Here's a piece of the street. I wrote on it so I didn't forget, because I'm sure that I'll take other pieces of streets from other areas of the world. This is from Prague, Czech Republic. Wanted a trip there. And someone misplaced their piece of the street, so I took it home with me. But this was to remind me when I went on this trip of the things that I learned on this trip. I went on a mastermind retreat with people that were making unbelievable amounts of money, had completely changed their lives. Some of them were running huge foundations. I sat in a room in Prague, Czech Republic, and I have a whole journal just on that meeting. And I took this piece of the street with me because I said, Tammy and I together, we're going to bring all of our six-figure earners to Prague. That's what we said. We weren't making enough money to do that, but we're going to figure out a way to take all of our leaders to Prague, Czech Republic. 2 years later, same street I took this block out of. I was sitting in Prague, Czech Republic with the top leaders in our team. I have no idea how we got there, but I think I got something that reminded me. I had a visual aid. It was so real to me. I refused to give up. Just for sake of time, I won't read you my whole journal. Probably wouldn't want that anyways. But on my trip to the Turks and Caicos, that's how serious. I'm only showing you this because it's done on a conference call. You may question, does Mark really do that stuff? Does Tammy really, does it really work? Yes, it really does work. I know what doesn't work because I did it for most of my life. So now I decided the other half of my life that I'm going to do what does work. So just here's another journal. In 2004, 18th of October, I won this trip to Turks and Caicos for being one of the top recruiters. I think I recruited like 2.5 people that month. Wasn't like Nerium. It'd be hard to do that here, right? And so I'm on a plane. Now look, mind you, I don't have the money to buy a plane ticket to Turks and Caicos. I don't have the money to go stay at the resort we were staying at. I don't have the money to eat at the fine dining and smoke Cuban cigars, which I'm not a cigar smoker, but I tried it anyways, and I don't know how you smoke cigars out there, but it was a Cuban cigar, and they're legal there, so I tried it. So I wrote myself, I keep these notes. This is my secret to success. I write it down. I write down what I want. I believe that I can do it. I have the initiative to go after it. There's no secret. I'm giving it to you right now. If there was ever a secret, the pixie dust to sprinkle on you, this is it. It's called hard work. This is what it is. It's hard work and faith put together. Sitting on this plane with all these wealthy people. I'm kind of like a stowaway on this plane. I start writing in my journal. Most of the people on this plane are flying down to spend time at their multi-million-dollar beach estates in North Caicos or Provinciales, Turks and Caicos. This discussion on the plane was both vision building and depressing. At the same time, since most people never get to this point in their life, most people are paying their Visa bill with their MasterCard. Hope they don't get pulled over because they have an expired registration on their car. Since that money was spent on baby formula rather than registering your car. I know this because I was that person. Broke in cash, mindset, and spirit. Once we landed, I knew why I was willing to run hard in life and run hard in business. Why does anyone settle for less in life? For the bad neighborhoods, the bad schools, the 80-hour work weeks, the poor medical insurance, no vacations. The answer is one thing: no vision. They don't believe they can get there. They're not willing to go on the journey. They're not willing to write it down. This is me talking to myself. Okay, so I talk to myself. Call me crazy. I call it works. It does work. Sitting on that plane, getting to the Turks and Caicos, spending some time with people that I got to know that were super successful in all different areas of their life and all different, from all around the world. I'm like, man, why can't I have something in the Turks and Caicos, right? Here I am, I'm going to the restaurant hoping this free trip is truly free because the Cuban cigar was like $40. Like, I don't even have $40 in my bank account, so I'm hoping they don't expect me to pay for the table of Cuban cigars. 12 months later, Tammy and I got a property in the Turks and Caicos. 12 months. How? Couldn't even afford a Cuban cigar. Why? How could we do it? I almost don't want you to clap because who cares if I have something in the Turks and Caicos? I haven't been back there in years. I'll probably sell it someday. I like Hawaii better. Right, Steve Lee? I'm telling you that because how was I able to do it? Came home, Tammy wasn't on that trip with me. I'm like, we've got to have a place at the Turks and Caicos. I brought home sand. I brought home conch shells. I bought a pirate map. I still have all the stuff today. It's at my house. And I went on a 12-month journey that I am going to build my business to the point where I can have a property in the Turks and Caicos. And all of a sudden it happened. Definite chief aim, willing to work, initiative, and faith. Every single thing that Tammy and I have written down, we've either accomplished or it became insignificant and we crossed it off our list, or we're in the process of doing it. It's not magic. It's work, definite chief aim, and faith. That's it. There's no shortcuts. Make a dream board. Bring home your jar of sand. Go test drive the new car. Tammy and I used to go to open houses for 2 reasons. One, they have free food. I'm dead on serious. Danny, do you remember going to the Reserve in Maryland? We used to go to the Reserve, these multi-million-dollar homes, where we tried to look like Danny had Payless shoes. They weren't even Payless because Payless wasn't around. They were like before Payless. Dollar store. Duct tape keeping the soles on them. We're going to the Reserve, multi-million-dollar mansions to open houses, eating the free food. And man, it was good. 1, because it was free. 2, we didn't have a lot of food at home. I'm serious. And I remember sitting in those houses going, someday. You know, I was renting at the time, barely paying my rent. But someday we're going to be able to, if we choose to, have a house like that. Those some days have come. Every single thing. And this is not just for Tammy and I. Every single person I've ever met that has achieved a certain level of success has these ingredients in that recipe. Every single person. These things ring true. Take Jeff Olson. Do you think Jeff Olson has faith? Do you think he just goes, let's give it a shot? Heck no. He's like, let's drive a tank through the wall and blow this thing up and go reinvent it, break the mold. Let's go take over the world. Let's do it big. Do you think you can just do that thinking you're going to do it? Or let's just check it out, or let's try it for a month? Heck no. It's all in. It's all in or sink. Read your goals every day. Affirmations. I talk to myself all the time. All the time. Getting ready for today's training, I was doing my training to myself. A couple days ago, I took a picture of all my notes laid out. I was just talking to myself. It works. Call me crazy, I don't care. I have a little notebook at home I made from Think and Grow Rich. You should read that book by Napoleon Hill. There's a formula in that book where you write your definite chief aim. This is where I got that from. There's a formula of your definite chief aim, and he instructs you in the book to make these little index cards of daily affirmations, and you should read them aloud, not just read them out loud to yourself twice a day. Do you know how long I've been reading cheesy index cards to myself? Years. If anyone ever caught me, that Smith boy next door is cuckoo. I mean, he's reading all kinds of, you should hear the stuff he reads to himself. I mean, he thinks he's going to have a house in Hawaii someday. Isn't that crazy? We know they're not paying their rent. Think about that. It works. You don't have to go it alone if you have a workout partner. That's the one thing that you should leave here having a workout partner. Nothing in life is going to come easy. You are going to get some setbacks. People will quit on you. You didn't know that? People will quit on you. People will have success here and quit on you. It's not only people that get in, don't really do anything, don't come to the trainings and decide they're not going to do it. Even people that have success quit. You just understand that. People are going to quit. But a workout partner keeps you accountable to your definite chief aim. You should have a workout partner. And be a worthy workout partner. Don't be a slug of a workout partner, like you have a superstar workout partner and you're weighing them down from their success, if you know what I mean. Find someone that's even keeled, that's about where you're at. They got similar goals. Workout partners are super, super important. I want to play 2 quick videos, and we're almost done here. For Tammy and I, we've cut our teeth in this industry for years. We've had every upset, every letdown, everyone that could ever quit on us. Believe me, we had even negative family members that sat there and said, it's not going to work, it's never going to work. Just imagine when you're broke and you're borrowing money for baby formula, and your own family is saying, this is stupid, what are you guys doing? You're wasting your time. I remember my friends coming over with a 6-pack of beer, sitting in my living room drinking while I was in my office on conference calls, writing in journals just like that. And they go, you done yet? You done yet? Like, heck no, I'm not done. You think I don't want to go out in the living room. I'm going to go make up a conference call so I don't have to hang out with you. We've been through all of it. And we're where we want to be. So why do we keep going? We want it for you. What fuels Tammy and I, seriously, is massive success for this company. And the only way this company has massive success is if every one of you light on fire from this convention, we go take this thing to the world. That's what gets me up in the morning. That's what keeps me going. And I sincerely mean that. I mean, I'm not allergic to money. I think you guys know that. I didn't just form some allergy of don't pay me any more money, okay? We have every single thing we would ever want in our life. The one thing that you can probably never, ever, ever, and should never, ever, ever feel that you're content with is the success of the people around you. Watching you go for it, listening to the stories, watching the journey. And listen, I enjoy your journey even so if it's rough for you. I'm sorry. Because I know that if you continue down the path, you're going to make it. And other people have made it. Lots of people have made it. There's a ton of people that are making it, and they're going to continue to make it in this company. I want to share with you some 5-star lifestyle videos, and we're going to continue to film these videos across the country and eventually across the world. The first one I want to introduce you to is Anna Camp, 5-star National Marketing Director. She's been through ups and downs in her lives. I won't bring them all up because whatever's on the video is probably what she wanted you to know, right? She reformed her entire life through Nerium International. I remember when you first got started, when you showed up at the Atrium Hotel in Orange County. I remember the doubt. And you were kind of picking my brain, kind of like, let me see if this guy's for real. I do remember that. I remember the questions. You know, she had been beat up in the industry a little bit, so she was, well, this is another one of those things. Well, let's take a look at what's happened for her. So go ahead and roll this video, please.
A mentor early on in this business said to me, you know, Anna, you have to really focus on a few things. Show up, pay attention, get excited, and be a joy to work with. And so I boiled that down to show up and be fabulous. A lot of my friends call me the Fab. It really puts a smile on my face when they call me that. I had a wonderful upbringing. I'm one of 5 children, and I grew up in a household where I had a mom that just believed that I could be anything or do anything. And she really instilled that belief in me as a very young girl. And I know that who I've become as a woman is very much because of that type of influence, the type of influence of a mom who was so positive, who just believed that there were no limits to what you could be as a woman. So I've raised my son Skylar as a single mom for 18 years. And it wasn't easy in the beginning. We slept on the floor and ate top ramen and had to make ends meet. And I was able to sell pool tables from the garage. And I grew that company to be one of the largest companies in the country for selling game room furnishings and pool tables. Of course, I sold my soul to that business and missed a lot of time with my son and wished I would have seen something like this, something like Nerium, because it would have allowed me time to be home with him. But unfortunately, through a crazy set of circumstances and a company that actually ran the pool table business into the ground and filed bankruptcy, I never saw all that money. I didn't have enough cash reserves left to be able to afford the mortgage payment long term, let alone my son's college education. At some point, the money would run out, and I knew that I had to do something. I saw Nerium about 2.5 years ago. It was brought to me by a friend of mine. What happened was I couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't sleep for 3 nights thinking, oh my gosh, if this is real, I don't want to suffer the pain of regret. I knew we were onto something really big and that this was really special. Nerium has just completely changed my life. Everything about my life has gotten completely 100% better. We recently purchased our dream home, and it's absolutely gorgeous. From the second you drive in the gate here, it just feels like you're in a resort, really. And the house sits right on the 15th fairway, so in the afternoon I can come home and my husband will say, hey, let's just sneak out and play a couple holes of golf. And it's so much fun to go out and be surrounded by the smell of grass and the beautiful golf course. We just love being able to live in this amazing community. My husband, David, has an amazing career. He actually films the finest golf resorts in the world. And because he gets to travel to these amazing resorts, one of the biggest benefits for me in Nerium is that I can go with him because I can actually work my business from anywhere. And so that's so fun for us because we get to spend a lot of time together, and I get to go to some amazing resorts that I might not get to go to if I worked a corporate job or a regular 8-to-5 job. Being a single mom for 18 years, I never thought I would get married again. It's just the love of my life. I could not be any more supported. I could not be any more happy. You know, we really, as a family, we'd stop dreaming. Both of us love to travel, and with Nerium, I get to travel. This company has given us a lot, and we're really grateful for that. To be able, especially, to have my son in the business and my sister and brother-in-law as well in the business. Not only do we get to spend quality time together, they also connect with what it is that I do. All of my 5 siblings live very close, all within an hour drive. And so to have the opportunity to get together with them and to have great dinner parties and music in the background, and it's so much fun to be able to share that kind of time together as a family unit. I've grown so much as a person. I couldn't even stand in a living room and talk to a couple women and show my before and after picture, and today I can talk in a room of thousands. Who would have thought? I'm so grateful for the lifestyle that Nerium has afforded for me and my family. I could have never done that with a regular job, ever. I don't work this business because I have to. I work it because I get to. And I feel like it's a privilege and an honor to be able to do that. And so I know that when I sit with somebody, I know I can change their life.
Was it worth it? Is it worth going to a convention? Is it worth doing a real results party? Is it worth getting on a Team Nerium call? Is it worth committing to Nerium University? Is it worth it? It's 100% worth it. 100%. I got one more for you. I want to introduce you guys to Dale and Vanessa Munger, 5-star national marketing directors. I can remember when they first started in Nerium as well. And I can remember when Tammy and Vanessa were going to put us on a budget. There was no more Starbucks. There was no more eating out. And right, we were splitting groceries. And to watch them grow has been amazing. So please roll the tape.
I'm just a regular dad who loves hanging out with her kids, playing basketball, playing baseball, playing flashlight tag with my boys at night, just going out there and being part of their life. To me, that's so important. We had really struggled with everything, and I didn't have that option to be able to think about, hey, I got to go out there and play with my kids or play basketball or even have time to play baseball. I was finding something to help us survive. I was a real estate appraiser, and from about 2003 to 2009, it was really, 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 really good here in California. We had a lot of success in the industry, but we worked. I would go out and do about 10 appraisals a day, and then I'd come home, my wife would be on the computer till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. The industry took a dive, and during this time, about a 9-month period, my son was diagnosed with diabetes. I didn't have insurance, and my car was repoed. I had to empty my kids' rooms so I could afford the house that we lived in, which is the house we're in today. But during this period, I would sit in my garage and not want to face my wife, not want to face my two boys, because I just didn't feel like I was that father or that husband that I should have been.
I remember staying up late at night, worrying about our future. You know, we were praying for something different to happen in our lives.
I got a phone call from my best friend, and he told me to come over, and we went over to both of our best friends' house. We were in the backyard, and my buddy threw me a bottle, and I'm like, skincare? How are you gonna do skincare? I mean, how's a Marine and how's a construction worker gonna do skincare? And so, you know, that was my thought. But then my wife was right behind me, and she goes, oh, no. Oh, we're in. She's like, we're in. And I'm so glad my wife is much smarter than me.
One of the biggest changes in our life has been us traveling together as a family. And that has been truly just a blessing. We've been almost everywhere around the United States and now to Canada and Mexico. But to be there, all of us together as a family, has been amazing. My kids now, they're like, when are we going somewhere? If we're home for too long. They really enjoy it.
It's awesome. Look at this. Beautiful.
Really, when you don't worry about money anymore, and you don't have to stress out over the bills, you know, it's about the choices that you have and the freedom that you have.
You know, when I look back 3 years ago, this wasn't even in our dreams. We wouldn't even think about this. Today, we're standing here at the St. Regis Hotel, one of our favorite hotels. Me and Vanessa tend to come here a lot just to kind of refresh, take back, look back on life that, you know, and how grateful we are, but spending with our family like always.
I love just being able to go shopping and get organic food and healthy things for our children. And when they need something, you know, it's not a problem to write the check for that. And when they want something too, something that we want to give them, you know, it's great to not have to worry or calculate or think about, you know, gosh, can we afford that? Can we budget that in? And Dale and I are really about those memories, creating special memories as a family. And so we're able to do that with no problem here in Nerium.
What I won't forget is who I am. You know, I won't forget that I couldn't afford a gallon of milk. I won't forget that my son was diagnosed with diabetes. I didn't have insurance. I won't forget that I had to get renters in my room. I won't forget those. I'm not going to forget where I come from. And because of where I've been and where I am today, you know, I'm not going to let that happen. I feel like I carry a blessing on my shoulder. And so my passion is going out there and helping people.
We just think of it as going out there and whose life can we bless and change today. And so it doesn't become anything different. It's not like work. It's more like our lifestyle.
What's most important about where we are today is that I dream. I dream again. You know, no one's ever going to be able to tell my kids they can't dream again.
Our kids love Nerium. They're part of Nerium as much as we are. We homeschool because we just found it was the best way for us to be able to have the lifestyle that we really wanted. Our children are learning, we're working, and we're having fun, all in one big bubble. So it's been really incredible. And homeschooling just fits right in to our Nerium family and you know, the way we do things.
We're just so grateful and so happy to be part of an amazing company called Nerium International when really all you got to do is work hard. We want you to know that. You know, it's enjoyable, we're having fun, and we're helping people live a life of their dreams.
Hey, is it worth it? Is it worth 2 a day? Is it worth handing out tools? Is it worth talking to your neighbor? Think about it. Is it worth reading 10 pages of a good book a day? In 14 years, I've been to 41 conventions, 168 regionals. I've listened to 1,400 team calls, thousands of home parties in 14 years. Sounds like a lot, right? In those same 14 years, other people working a job, say a 60-hour work week, times 14 years, is 43,000 hours working for someone else, for someone else's goal, for someone else's company, for someone else's dream. But we don't look at it that way. We'll allow people to tell us, don't go for it. Stick to the system. Get a real job. 41 conventions, 168 regionals, 1,400 plus calls. It was worth it. Anna Camp will tell you it was worth it. Dale and Vanessa Munger will tell you it's worth it. Ron and Leslie will tell you it's worth it. Jocelyn and Eric will tell you it's worth it. Linda Lindsay would tell you it's worth it. I could go through every single person in this arena in the front row here that's gone through the journey, that's cut their teeth. Some of them have had setbacks and they've plowed through them, and they will tell you that it's worth it. Is it hard? Depends on how you look at it. If you have a rock solid, definite chief aim, if you're willing to have faith that you believe the possibilities are possible for you, I think it's way easier than 43,000 hours for someone else that doesn't appreciate me, doesn't care where my kids go to school, doesn't care what zip code I live in. That's the way I look at it. At the counter of success, you must pay full retail. There's no discount for success. It comes with a price. It comes with a sacrifice. But we're going to work anyways. Why not work hard here in our business for us, for our dreams and our goals? Are you willing to go out there and do it? Here's the thing. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is real. And you have to draw your line in the sand now. Put it on paper, formulate your goals, and be willing to go for it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the ride of your life is Monday. Thank you.